afternoon, everyone. And first of all, thank you, each one of you, for joining today's session. So, in collaboration with Etika, today we have organized a session on financial planning and investments. We already have a speaker for today. Let's welcome our speaker today with a small introduction. We have Rajesh Jain today with us, who started his career as an advocate in High Court and moved to corporate. Well, now he is a financial and insurance planner, mutual fund advisor, and SEBI registered equity research analyst. In 2021, he stepped up as an entrepreneur by starting Illumine Consulting LLP, which is a one-stop shop for personal finance and corporate advisory needs. A warm welcome to you, Rajesh. And
thank you, Sandhya.
Yeah. Well, guys, just to give a brief, info on the duration. Today, it's a 1 hour session where the last 15 minutes would be open for Q&A. And I'm sure this session is going to be very interactive. And I'm personally very much looking forward to this session because a few months ago, I was just a believer of saving my funds in only FDs and RDs. Very recently, I've started with SIPs and mutual fund with a very bare minimum knowledge. And I'm personally looking forward to this session to know more about how to manage money. So I think without wasting any time, warm welcome again, and over to you, Rajesh.
I think you have set the right tone by saying that, okay, you are someone who would save earlier in FDs and now you have moved to mutual funds and SIP. I think 60 minutes is the time. I will try to make it as crisp as possible. Guys, what we can do is during the first 45 minutes during this session, I would be doing the talking and I would be looking for most of your responses into the chat window. Like whatever questions I ask, or if you have any queries, any doubts, kindly put into the chat window. So let the first 45 minutes, the only medium of communication between us to be the chat window, and after once the Q&A is open, then let's open the forum. Is it fine with all? So are we all ready to start? If you are ready, please type ready into the chat window. Thank you. I can see a lot of quick responses. Thank you, guys. Nice to see this excitement, especially in the afternoon, post lunch. Yeah. So let's start with a story. This is a story about one janitor, Mr. Reed, who died in 2014. Janitor, he used to do some very odd jobs. He was a mechanic. He used to be a gas station attendant throughout his life. And when he died in 2014, people were surprised by looking at his net worth, which was like $8 million. Any guesses how he earned this? Like a person who is janitor, very meager earning, like maybe somewhere around like $50 per week or something of that sort of earning. He accumulating 8 million fortune when he died. Like when I heard this for the first time, for me it was unbelievable. Like, is this possible? And when I started digging further to know how he made it possible, the first impression that I had that surely was he would have amassed this much wealth by winning a lottery. He would have won a lottery. And to my surprise, no, he didn't win a single lottery. And all his fortune was made by smart spending and smart investment. He just followed two simple principles. He consistently did the saving. He saved consistently and he was patient, and he just let his investments do the trick through compounding. And by the time he died, He had investments in almost 95 companies. He used to, one of the primary investments that he had was investment into stock markets. And he was a person like, he used to analyze a company, invest into the company, and just forget it, leave it. Sheer patience and consistency. These were the two things which made it possible for him to amass so much of wealth. And somewhere we always have an impression that was, if we need to make so much of big money, either we need to hit a fortune or we need to be really a genius. Morgan Housel, in his book Psychology of Money, this book is timeless lessons on wealth, greed, and happiness. In this book, he clearly says that financial success is not hard science. It's just a soft skill where how you behave is more important than what you know. So it's not your knowledge about finance. It's not about your financial expertise. It is basically what is the kind of behavior you have and how what is the kind of relationship you develop with money. That determines whether you would be wealthy or not. Now, when I say wealthy, this brings to me one question that guys, are you really wanting to be wealthy or you want to be rich? So, how many of you want to be rich and how many of you want to be wealthy? Please type into the chat window. If you want to be rich, type rich. If you want to be wealthy, type wealthy. And if you are confused, boss, what is the difference between rich and wealthy? Type confused. So wealthy, wealthy. Good to see few people says confused, crazy rich. I really love that. Wealthy, confused, rich, confused. Okay. So let me first clear the air. What is being rich and what is being wealthy? Being rich is all about having lots and lots of money, and the only purpose of having that money is to do show off, to show people what is the kind of lavish lifestyle you are in, like having a Lamborghini, having a huge bungalow, gadgets, travel, yacht. That's it's like a showcase of your lifestyle. That's the whole intention of amassing money, earning money. And is there any limit? Is there something which can make it enough? No, it can never be. Is there any end for show off? Showing off your money? Is there any end for it? No matter how much you show off, there is never an end to it. But being wealthy is like you're not worried about earning money at all. It's like when you earn money without any effort and spending your time, and you're not at all interested in showing off your wealth. So it's all about like, say, for example, tomorrow people speak about financial freedom, like financial freedom, wealthy. There are always very casually used terms for this without understanding what it actually means. Financial freedom means, or being wealthy means, if my say daily my monthly expenses are roughly about say 2 lakh rupees in Indian rupee, or maybe say about 2000 or $2,500 per month. If that is my expenses, I need not worry about these expenses. I have got enough assets that earn that for me. And what I need to do is just follow my passion, follow my own time, and I am free to do whatever I wish with the time I have. I need not work hard to earn money for my own living, for my own expenses. That is what being wealthy means. So, being wealthy is more of freedom, and being rich is more of show off. So, now I again ask you, what is it that you want to be? Whether you want to be rich or whether you want to be wealthy. Amir says wealthy, especially people who were confused. Wealthy and healthy. Yeah, Malinda. Health and wealth. Yes. That's the real. In fact, after COVID, people have realized the importance of health as well. Now, this brings to me that when I say, okay, for being wealthy, I need to have assets that earn money for me without me putting any efforts into it. Now, this brings us to that next question, that what the damn asset is. What the hell an asset is? Am I right? Now, see, if any one of you is from an accounting background or someone from commerce background, would say asset means anything that has some value, like my watch, my mobile, my computer, my car, my home, anything that has value which can be sold is an asset. Yes, in terms of accounting, that is an asset. But when it comes to personal finance, when it comes to your own wealth, accumulating wealth, is a slight difference. And what's that? Asset is something that puts money into your pocket. Anything and everything that has that appreciates in its value over a period of the time and has a potential to put money into your pocket is an asset. And exact on the contrary, anything that takes out money from your pocket is a liability. Now, guys, tell me, you have bought a posh bungalow, a lavish bungalow, you have spent so much on its interiors, and you are living happily with your family into it. Is that an asset? Is that lavish bungalow which you have bought, spent so much on the interiors, and you are living with your family, is it an asset? Amir says no, Darshan says no, Rohit Palli says no. If it's on loan, no. Actually, if you want to sell it off in future, yes. Yes, guys, rightly said. First, the house that you are living in, no matter how costly it is, how valuable it may be, it is not giving you any money. In fact, it would be asking lot of maintenance cost. You will have to pay for a lot of maintenance cost from your pocket. It will convert into asset only on the day when you decide to sell it. Only on the date when you decide to sell it, it would be termed an asset. Similarly, your car, your mobile, any of your gadgets that depreciates in its value is only a consumption. It's an expenditure and not an asset. It's a liability and not an asset. So, what are the various assets that can make you wealthy? So, what are the various assets that you should look to accumulate? First, real estate, one of the favorites across the globe. Across the globe, people love investing into real estate because that is something tangible, something that can be seen, felt, and gives you a sense of possession that yes, this is the piece of land that belongs to me. Real estate. Now, while real estate is one of a great place to invest, there are certain limitations in terms of real estate. What are those limitations? First thing, can you invest, say, just $100 or $200 into real estate? No. You need to invest a very big amount into real estate. First thing. Second, you need to have a long holding capacity. In fact, it is said that if you are investing into real estate, you should be prepared to hold it at least for next 10 years. You should have a holding capacity for the next 10 years. And third, you should be well prepared for your liquidity because real estate is one of the most illiquid asset class. Liquidity means anything that can be converted into cash easily, like money in your bank. It's in ready cash. Your fixed deposit, you just break it, it's available to you. Gold. It's easily available. But can you go and sell land? Like today, you decide you have got an emergency, you want to sell a land today. Can you go and sell it? No. It takes lot of time, lot of efforts to sell real estate. Then the next asset class, which had been the next asset class, which had been one of the highest wealth generators, whether you say Warren Buffett, whether you say Bill Gates, whether you say Elon Musk, any name you say in today's top 100, each one of them have become rich only through the direct equity, that is the shareholding they have in their companies or the companies in which they have invested. Now, direct equity, for the purpose of clarity, people who have may not be well versed with this term. Direct equity means when you go and invest your money directly into stock market, buy shares of a company, that is called direct equity. Equity means a share of a company, a fragment of a company, that is equity. So when you are investing directly into an equity through by investing into stock market, it is called direct equity. Now, if you are investing indirectly, that is, you are giving your money to a pool of fund and then letting them invest on your behalf, that is mutual funds. So, direct equities or mutual funds, both directly or indirectly, invest into various companies. Mutual funds, of course, there are equity funds as well as debt funds. Now, when I come to debt, what is debt? Debt is a loan that you give it to some other person. And when you give a loan to a corporate, that is a company, that debt is called bonds. So there can be government bonds. Even government also issue a lot of bonds. There are corporates that issue bonds. Now bonds, one of the best asset class where people are looking for guaranteed and secured returns. But at the end of the day, what is the kind of return that you are expecting? That would matter where you invest. Now, here, when it comes to bond, one question that would be very pertinent to be discussed, one point is whether investing into fixed deposit would be better, whether investing into bonds would be better, or whether investing into direct equities would be better, or investing into real estate would be better. Now, for the purpose of clarity, especially I would say in the Indian context, where the returns historical had been, and not just India, across the globe, more or less, they have been on the same parallels in terms of the variation. Now, in India, if you invest your money into a fixed deposit, what is the rate of interest that you can expect? Somewhere between 4 to 5%, not more than that. 4 to 5%. Now, if you are investing your money into bonds, what is the rate of interest that you can expect? So, depending on the credit rating of the company, the credibility of the company, the bond, you can expect between 6 to 8% of return. Now, if you are investing into mutual funds, equity mutual funds, what is the rate of return that you can expect? If I say historical average, most of the funds average them out, their returns, it would be somewhere between 10 to 13%. Equity mutual funds, 10 to 13% over a period of 10 years. And direct equity, if you take the stock market, it has always been one of the highest return asset, highest asset that has given the highest return in any period of 10 years. And there is no limit how much a person can make. But yes, on an average, people who are investing, I'm not speaking about people who are speculators, who like buy and sell stocks on daily basis. I'm not speaking about speculation into the stock market. I'm purely speaking from investment perspective. Direct equity can give you somewhere around 20 plus percent return. And real estate gives you somewhere over and above inflation, that is around 8 to 10%. Now, when I say inflation, what is the current inflation? Current inflation in India, current inflation is somewhere around 6 to 7%, around 6 to 7%. Now, when my Fixed deposit is giving me just 4 to 5% interest, which is again taxable, and net of my tax, I would be getting somewhere around 3.5% against my inflation of 6%. Is the value of my money increasing or decreasing? Is the value of my money increasing or decreasing? Can I get some responses? Yes, it is decreasing. My value of money is decreasing. So actually, I'm not getting wealthy. My wealth is getting reduced. My wealth is getting reduced. Now, similarly, if I take bonds which are giving me somewhere around 6 to 8%, so they are helping out to just beat the inflation. But the real power of giving me a very higher returns is always in two asset classes, that is equities and real estate. Now, here, yes, Harsha was saying about like Yes Bank. I think he must be one of the person who lost money into Yes Bank. So he was saying Yes Bank. So no doubt, there are companies which will go bankrupt. So investing into direct equities is an art where you need to spend your time in understanding how stock market works, how company works, and how you analyze a company's business. You need to spend some amount of time to manage your hard-earned money, because at the end of the day, the money you would be investing is hard-earned. It is not robbed from any person. So you need to put some efforts. But if you are not in a position to put some efforts, then the best would be hand it over to the professionals to manage, put your money into mutual funds. Now, while these four are the traditional investment options, commodities is one of the preferred option again, especially when you come to the South India and all the traditional India. Commodities like gold, silver, platinum, especially gold and silver are one of the favorite asset classes for traditional Indian families to invest into it. Now, one of the best feature of commodities is they, in a longer term, in a shorter term, it may increase or decrease. It may, like gold may increase 1 year by 20%, another year by 10%, it falls down. So basically, whenever there is an uncertainty into economy, like currently Russia and Ukraine war is going on. There is an uncertainty. So there's an uncertainty that's built up. So whenever there is an uncertainty into economy, the commodities always shoot up. The prices of gold and silver, they always shoot up. And whenever things settle down, when things are fine, they again reduce and become normalized. So in this process of shooting up and normalizing, if I take a 10 years period, now guys, one thing that you should always look at is you should always try to see a 5 years or 10 years period rather than looking at a 1 year performance of any asset class. So when you're looking at a 10 years period, gold and silver always give 1 to 2% more than the inflation. So if I take last 10 years average inflation, which is somewhere around 8%, gold has given a return of about 10%. So it will always give you 1 to 2% more than inflation. So if you're someone who is happy by just preserving your money, you said that, okay, I don't want to grow my money, but I just want to preserve it so that it doesn't lose its value, then commodities and bonds are good option. But if you are someone who want to increase the value of your money and become wealthy, then you should expose yourself to equities, that is mutual fund and direct equities, and real estate. Now, in addition to this five, there is something called intellectual property. So if you are a person who has created something which is valuable to the society, which is valued, like J.K. Rowling, she has created Harry Potter. So she has the rights of Harry Potter, and see how her fortunes have changed. Like all your software companies, they had a lot of intellectual property like copyrights, patents. Pharmaceutical companies, they make money based on their patents. So if you are someone who has the ability to create a copyright and patent for the work that you have done, and that has a very high value, that can change your fortunes. And And the last thing is business. Business any day has the highest potential to grow your wealth than any other asset class. But obviously, the sixth and seventh is not easily available to each and every person, especially when we are salaried class, isn't it? Very few of us would be even exploring these avenues. So we would be focusing more on investing into the top five assets, which I'm speaking about. So here, how should I invest? You may ask me, Rajesh, what should be my preference? How much I should invest into which asset class? Am I right? So if that's your question, that how much you should be investing in which asset class, then I have a simple rule for you. I named it called 4321 rule. This 4321 rule is a rule of portfolio allocation. Now, when I say portfolio means your total investment asset or your total wealth. So, say for example, you have a portfolio like all your investments put together collectively are say about 50 lakhs. So, 50 lakhs is your portfolio. So, how you should allocate this portfolio among these four asset classes, which is called equity, real estate, debt, that is bonds or any other form of debt, and commodities, which is gold and silver. So, how much you should be allocating? So, this is the allocation, that is 40% you should look at allocating to equities, 30% of your portfolio. So portfolio of 50 lakhs, I would say 20 lakhs should be invested into equities, 30% of the 50 lakhs, that is 15 lakhs, should be invested into real estate, 20%, which translates into 10 lakhs, should be invested into bonds, and 10% should be invested into commodities, that is 5 lakhs. Now, is this a hard and fast rule? No, this is not a hard and fast rule, but this is one of the best way to create a balanced portfolio, because at any point of the time, not every asset class performs. Like if you see historically, like 1 year if equities are performing well, another you will see real estate suddenly booming up, in another year you will see bonds going up. At the same time, you will see a sudden crash in equities, or you may see a diffuse of a real estate bubble. So that is the kind of volatility. Volatility means a sudden increase and decrease into any performance of an asset class. So this is the kind of volatility each and every asset class has. So this way you can create a balanced portfolio, that so that at any point of the time there are at least one or two asset classes which are performing for you, which ensures that the overall your portfolio is performing well and giving you higher returns and taking your march towards being wealthy forward step by step. Now, once you have understood this portfolio allocation, how you should be looking at this portfolio allocation is like I would request you that every year, like currently you start with, like first sit down, write down all your investments which you have invested, write down all your investments, segregate into asset class, the investment into equities, whether it is mutual fund or stock market directly, investment into equities, segregate them, club it together, real estate, whether it is like you have bought a residential property which you have rented out. Now real estate means only land or residential or commercial properties which you are either willing to sell or you have let out, not something which you are residing yourself. So your home which is self occupied is not part of your real estate investment. So you segregate it into this real estate bonds and see that what is the portfolio allocation, how much you are invested into which asset class. Most of the times when I do this exercise with my clients, I get surprised that either people are highly tilted towards debt, that is like 50 to 60% would be invested into either fixed deposit, other debt funds, or maybe chit funds into a debt market, or I see a lot of people invest into real estate. Yes, few clients who are very risk averse, they invest heavily into equities, but you see whether your portfolio is balanced or not. And one thing that you can freely flip is real estate and equity. If you are someone who have a high flavor for real estate, you have a great liking for real estate, see that you don't invest more than 40% into real estate and ensure that 30% is invested into equities. So try to see how you can balance, and the variation can be max 5% up and plus or minus, but see that you create a balanced portfolio. And every year, at the end of every year, you need to review again your portfolio. So with this, I come with what are the 7 golden rules that I call that can make you wealthy. The first rule is save first and spend later. It is a traditional wisdom, no matter which part of globe you belong to, especially if you are someone who is from uh, Asian ancestry. If you're an Asian, Asians always have this great commitment towards saving. No matter how much they earn, whether it is 1,000 or 100 bucks, or whether it is a lakh or $10,000, no matter how much they earn, there is a tradition that always take out some part of it, save it, and try to see that your spending or your expenditures are met within this balance thing. So save first and spend later. And how much you should be saving? I think most of you, I think it's an easy question. Most of you must be aware of how much you should be saving. Come on, guys, don't disappoint me. I was looking for very quick responses, and I thought like each one of you would quickly say that okay, this is the percentage of my total income that I would be saving or I should be saving. 50%, 40%, 30%, 30 to 40%, 20% depends on income. Shinam, I don't agree. It never depends on your income, because at the end of the day, saving is an habit. So no matter whatever your income, you should develop an habit of saving at least some minimal amount. And that saving should start with 20%. Start with 20%, minimum 20%. So if you are someone who is in the lower earning bracket, start with 20%. And as your earnings go up, your saving percentage should increase to 30, 40, and see even if you can go up to 50%. And then the next golden rule is link all your investments with a specific life goal. So write down all your life goals, that what are the goals that you have, what are the various financial goals that you have, whether it's your kids' education, whether you are foreign trip, whether you want to buy your like dream home, or you want to have a lavish retirement, whatever it may be. Write down all your life financial goals and link your investments with it. So if you are someone who is investing say 50,000 per month into an SIP, so demarket say this 20,000 is towards my kids future and this 30,000 is towards my retirement, or maybe vice versa, whatever may be. But link your investments and see that every bucket you tag it up with your goal, and you use that bucket of investment only when that life goal matures. That is, if you have created a bucket for your kids' education, only when your kids get into a higher education and you need money to spend for it, only then you should touch that bucket. Else, you should keep it untouched. Don't mix insurance with investment. This is one major mistake most of us do. That is, instead of taking insurance, we always like to have some added return along with insurance. How many of us invest into money back guarantee plans, insurance plans? If you are someone who invests into money back guarantee plans, please say I. Please type I. If you are someone, and if there is no one, I would be really happy. But if you are someone who invests into money back guaranteed plans, please be frank enough and acknowledge that yes, you are someone who invests into it. Of course, I'm not finding any fault with it, but I'm just trying to say that mixing insurance and investment, that is two different things together, can never give you the kind of returns that you are expecting. Insurance should be taken purely as an insurance, and investment should be made separately into high return investing. See, when you invest your money, always look at what is the percentage of return year on year that you would be getting. And your money back guaranteed plans, if you are investing, give you somewhere around 5.5%. 5.5% is the return which your money back guaranteed plans give. Now you tell me, with an inflation of rate of more than 6%, is it sensible on my part if I'm investing my money into this money back guaranteed plans which are just yielding 5.5% to me, but my insurance agent who is so interested to sell this to me, he gets 50% commission of my first year investment. Yes, your insurance agent, I'm myself and someone, I'm an insurance advisor. Okay, so I know how much commissions we get. So your money back return guaranteed plans, if you say if you have invested a lakh, I would be happy to receive a commission of 50 to 60,000 in the first year. And the next year onwards, I would be getting somewhere around 5%, that is 5,000 every year out of your investment. Same thing if I'm investing into mutual funds. Now I'm also a mutual fund advisor. So how much I get by advising for mutual funds? Any cases, what is the commission? Harsha says 1%, Rahul says 2%, Adne says 0. Adne, it is 0 if you are investing into a direct fund, but if you are investing into a regular fund, there is always a payout given to your advisor, and 1% would be my delight. I would be more than happy if my fund is giving me 1%. But normally it is somewhere around 0.6 to 0.8%. Now you tell me, will you as an investor be better off in investing into a mutual fund which is investing your entire amount and just giving me 0.6 to 0.8% or max 1% in return, and its total expenses are less than 2%, versus investing into some asset class where the advisor is getting 50-60% in the first year and minimum 5% and thereon? No, I leave that decision to you now. So whether you want to continue investing into your money back guaranteed plans. Fourth rule, never forget liquidity is the key. So never block your entire money into illiquid assets like real estate or your insurance policies. Never block your entire money. Keep liquidity in your hands. Liquidity is always the king. And no matter what, whether it was 50 years back, 100 years back, or even 50 years from now on, it would continue to be the king. So always see that you have a balanced liquidity, and at any point of time, you have at least 6 months to 12 months of your expenses in form of liquid form, maybe in terms of liquid funds or maybe in terms of sweep in fixed deposits, whatever is your choice, but ensure that it is in a liquid form. Guys, never use your credit card. Never use your credit card for your credit requirement. Always pay your credit card bills on or before the due date, because credit card is the most expensive form of debt. You pay highest interest rate on credit card, but the worst thing about it is people use it a lot because it is easily available, easily accessible. It's an easy money. It's not my money, but I'm still easily able to use it. I just swipe it and then I slog to repay. Never do that. Take loans only for business purpose and only in case of emergencies. Never go for loan. Personally, I am a person who advocates that never even take a home loan when you want to buy a home. Yes, you may take a home loan for the purpose of your tax saving purpose, but not because you cannot afford the home, and that's the reason to make the home affordable for you, you are taking a home loan. So if you are saying I'm buying a house of about 2 crores and I'm already having a investments or my wealth is about 4 5 crores, I can afford that house. But yes, maybe for my tax saving purpose, I'm trying to take a home loan so that my assets, my investments continue to grow more than what my interest payout is. That's a different thing. But I have just 50 lakhs and I'm going for a 2 crore house. by taking a loan of 1.5 crores, frankly, my personal advice to you is big no. And if your wives are behind you, please get them on a call with me. I have a track record of convincing 99% of my client wives for saying no to their home when they are not able to afford it, including my own wife here. Last but not the least, invest in financial education. Invest in financial, it's very easy, boss. And you start with the psychology of money. There are two books I would recommend each one of you, each and every participant. I want a commitment from you. If you have not read these books, please read two books: Psychology of Money, Rich Dad and Poor Dad. These are the two books to start with. And once you enjoy this, then you can add on to it. But these are the two books mandatorily, whether you enjoy or not, read it. And they're very easy to understand. Anyone can understand them. So, can I get a commitment from you all to read these two books, Psychology of Money and Rich Dad, Poor Dad? How many of you commit? Yes, Sandhya, coffee can investing is the next read for someone who want to invest into the stock market. But yes, for the beginners to start financial education, Psychology of Money. Even for people who have been investing into stock market at all, if you have not read Psychology of the Money, you should read Psychology of Money before you move ahead with terms of your investments. This is a must read book I would recommend. Now, 7 action points quickly. So, we are on the fag end of the session today. So, I would just like to give you certain action points. What you should be doing is first check out your savings, ensure that they are minimum 20%, and see that you increase your savings to 30, 40, and if possible, even up to 50%. Second, take a term life insurance. Don't take money back guaranteed insurance plan. Don't take ULIP plan. Take term life pure insurance of minimum 15 times of your annual income. Now there is a science behind it why it should be 15 times. For the paucity of money, I cannot cover it. But yes, ensure that 15 times of your annual income. Say if you are earning $10,000 per annum, you go for 1.5 lakh. That is sorry, 15. Yeah, $150,000 as your cover. Take a health insurance of minimum 25 lakhs, which would be somewhere around, I think, how much? $3,000. Yeah. So ensure you take it health insurance of minimum 25 lakhs. And how you can take it is take your base policy of 5 lakhs and take a super top up policy of 20 lakhs. And if you are someone who are already covered by your insurance, by your company, corporate company, say for example 3 lakhs, 4 lakhs, 5 lakhs, whatever it may be, over and above what your corporate is covering, go for a super top up policy of at least 20 lakhs. You can go even for 50 lakhs. Like how much I have for my family of four, for about five, my top up policy of 50 lakhs over and above my 5 lakhs base policy, I'm just paying 9,000 bucks. 9,000, 50 lakhs additional cover over and above my existing. So go for a 5 lakhs base policy and 20 to 50 lakhs super top up policy. Vinay Sharma, difference between term and health insurance, please remind me during Q&A. I will surely take up this. Now for quickly, just to this thing, term insurance is about your life, that is on your death. So it's an insurance about your death, that if you die, your family will be receiving a specified sum of amount. And health insurance is that if you fall ill, the insurance company will foot your medical bills to the guaranteed amount. So if it is 5 lakhs, so up to 5 lakhs, your insurance company would be footing the bill. Define your financial goals. Please define your financial goals. And one of the goal that should be mandatorily defined is your retirement goal. And if you are someone who thinks retirement planning should start somewhere at 40s and 50s, then boss, retirement planning should start from the first day of your earning. The day you start earning, from that day, you should start planning for your retirement. Because see, if you are someone, you start, see, normally at what age we start earning? At what age we start earning? Somewhere around 25, 26. Am I right? Until what age we can earn? Maybe around 55. Is it? With this current lifestyle, the kind of hectic lifestyle, the stress, around 55. So 30 years is our earning span. And what is our lifespan? Our lifespan currently is on the verge of increasing. Average human life currently is around 75 years, and the next 2 decades it is expected to be somewhere around 85 to 90 years. So if I'm retiring at 55 and I'm alive till 85, I've got another 30 years of my life where I'm physically less stronger, I'm having more of medical expenses, no one to take care of me. And at that point of the time, it is only my retirement corpus which will help me out. So you should have a retirement corpus that will help you out to sustain at least for 30 years, not for yourself, but also your spouse. Pay all your debt first. So if you are someone who has taken debts and all, please focus on saving as much as possible and use that saving to repay your debts. Don't indulge into newer expenditures and newer debts, and see, focus on clearing off all your existing debts. Ensure to do SIP. Now SIP means systematic investment plan. Now SIP is basically associated with mutual funds most popularly, but it is not just mutual funds. SIP means any kind of investment plan that you do systematically. So say if I'm someone who loves investing every directly into stock market, so every month I can take out an X amount, maybe 30,000, 40,000, or 50,000 per month, and invest every month into stock market. So SIP is a systematic. So make saving as an habit and make it automated. So all your monthly savings should be auto deducted from your bank account, where you need not use your discretion whether I should save or not this month. Else, what will happen? Every month you will think, should I save this month or not? Then suddenly, yeah, this month I'm planning to go for an outing, so let me stop my saving. Next month suddenly we'll get some, yeah, guests have come, so my expenses have got. Let me not do the savings. No, saving should not be discretionary. Something should be something which is automated, systematic, and mandatory. Start planning for your retirement now. I've already told you. Start planning for your retirement now, no matter what your age is. Whether you are 23, whether you are 32, whether you are 42, whether you are 52. You should plan your retirement irrespective of your age now. So with this, I end my session today and open the forum for Q&A.
Yes, guys. Thank you, Rajesh. Yes, I think we have questions coming in.
Yeah. So before we start taking up a questions, some quick poll, a feedback before people start leaving. Just I would request each one of you to spare a minute. It will not take more than a minute. 4 simple multiple choice questions. Please exercise your choice, whatever you feel. This will help us to improve our future sessions. So you can see on your screen the poll has already been launched. So first question is overall, how was your session? So whatever you feel, whether it was excellent, good, fair, poor, kindly cast your poll. Did the session meet your expectations? Like you would have come with certain expectations today. Do let me know if I could meet your expectations. I would also like to know what percentage of information was new to you. And last but not the least, what kind of topics that you would like to see at future events? Like you can help your HR to plan for future sessions for yourself. So we will be submitting this particular list of topics even to your HR, that what kind of sessions that you look forward in coming months. Yeah. So while the poll is on, I would be open to take up the questions. Okay, so I would just try to see. Okay, I would go from lower to top. What type investment you would recommend to people who are just starting their career? Ishika Jain. So Ishika Jain, if you are just starting your career, the first thing that you should do is take a medical cover for yourself, medical insurance, so that if at all you fall sick or any of your loved ones fall sick, you are not running short of your money. And if you are already covered by your company for say 4 lakhs, 3 lakhs, 5 lakhs, please go for a super top up policy for at least 20 lakhs minimum. You have seen in COVID this thing that a single admission would get a bill of 15 to 20 lakhs. Okay, I've seen a lot of claims ranging between 15 to 20 lakhs. That is one thing. Second would be start an SIP. Start an SIP. And in India, I would recommend you for your ATC purpose. If you are someone who is already falling into tax bracket and you want to save for your ATC, that is 1.5 lakh. This 1.5 lakh should be invested only into term insurance and ELSS. Mutual funds, there are ELSS, that is equity linked saving schemes. ELSS funds, these are a kind of mutual funds which are eligible for tax reduction under ATC. And if you don't want to save for ATC purpose, start an SIP into mutual funds. Start with whatever amount you can, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, whatever it can be. And then term insurance. These are the three things: medical insurance, mutual fund SIP, and term insurance. These are the three investments that you start with. What if I'm still covered under my parents' medical insurance? If you're covered under medical insurance, well and good, but just see whether it is enough or not, whether it is around 25 lakhs or not. And if it is not 25 lakhs, please go for a super top up policy. What? Okay. Charul Kopa says, speaking of rich dad or poor dad, what's your personal opinion about using debt to make money? Is it for everyone? Using debt to make money is an art through which people start investing into real estate. So it is called something called leveraging your existing investments. How it works is I go buy a real estate property. So say for example, I buy a real estate property for 1 crore. I buy it. I start letting it out, get monthly monthly rent on it. I again go mortgage this property to a bank, take some loan. With that loan I again buy a new property. This property again let it out. Once I'm able to repay this loan, again I will go and mortgage these two properties, buy another third property. This is how you can start leveraging your existing investment. Take debt, and the whole objective of debt is to invest into an asset, rent it out, and earn money. So, in a way, it is a one form of business. It is a form of business. So that's why I said you can take debt for business purpose, but not for any other purpose. What is my opinion on ETF? ETF is an electronic traded funds. So ETFs basically like gold funds. There now ETFs, is it two sides of it, whether like ETF, whether I should invest directly into ETF for my gold or not, or whether I should go and invest into sovereign funds. Prima facie, I would say yes, ETF is good, but there are certain subtle concerns with regard to ETF, whether the underlying money which has been invested into ETF is converted into real gold or not. There have been certain concerns, there have been certain whistleblowers who have blown the whistle. The facts are not in public domain, so I cannot comment about it. But personally, I always prefer in investing sovereign gold bonds. Every month or two, Government of India, RBI issues sovereign gold bonds. I personally invest into sovereign gold bonds and not into ETFs. Vinay Sharma, difference between term and health insurance. Vinay, I said, I think I have already clarified it, but if it is not clear, please type it again that you want me to repeat it, then I will clarify it again. Okay, thanks, Vinay. How can I invest on private company or early startup company? So Sandy, if you are someone with a very high net worth, and when I say high net worth, I would say someone who has a net worth of more than 50 lakhs minimum, more than 50 lakhs of net worth, only then you should look at options of investing into private company or a early startup company. And there are a lot of venture capitalist funds which are available, where they do something called like crowdfunding. They take money from people, 5 lakhs, 2 lakhs, 10 lakhs, and invest into startups or private companies. Now these are one of the highest risk assets. So if you are someone with a low net worth and you are just about building your net worth, I would advise you focus on listed companies more. The reason is, listed companies, there is a lot of information in public domain, so you are aware of how that company is performing, what the company's numbers are, balance sheets are, and there are certain stringent compliances which we need to follow, which is not with private company. And there are a lot of hanky panky things that happen which you may not be in a position to evaluate. Should we see cryptocurrencies as an investment we can make? I would say cryptos is not an investment, it is basically a speculation. So if you are someone who loves speculating into some form or the other, whether it is like stock market speculation, whether it is like betting, whether it is cryptos, yes, you can. But if you're an investor, then I would suggest you to stay away from cryptos. Yes, cryptos are currently very hot. They are the hottest investment avenues on the market currently. But just understand, when you invest your money, say for example, if I'm investing my money into mutual fund, I know my money is in return going and sitting into books of some company, it is getting invested into some other asset. If I'm investing my money into stock market, I know which company I've invested in. If I'm investing my money into real estate, I've got a piece of land to there. But if I'm investing into cryptos, where the hell that money is going? If you know that where that money is going, if you have the answer, then you can invest. Because currently I'm not able to get that answer, that where my money goes, because I cannot invest my money into some random numbers which are generated by computer code. And of course, this is my personal opinion. A lot of people currently are fancy about cryptos. They are investing into cryptos. They have burnt hands into cryptos, and you're open to experience it. But remember, you're not investing, you're speculating in cryptos. So if you are someone who's open for speculation, you can go ahead. Adnay, I hope I'm clear to you about cryptos. And if you have any doubt, please open up, because though you are the only person who have asked, but I'm sure many of you must be wondering what these cryptos are, with the kind of ads that you are being bombarded. Like you open a TV, any OTT channel, every now and then you see some ad about cryptos. That just with 100 rupees you can invest into cryptos. Okay, so that's one thing that is being very popularized currently, but I don't think that is something that you should currently invest.
I think we have Vasu who has raised his hand.
What is the question? Can you help me out?
Hey Rajesh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah.
Vasu, if you don't mind, can you switch on your video? I would like to see your beautiful face.
Oh my God. Can you?
Yeah, hi Vasu. Yeah.
Hello. Yeah. I just want to make sure with you, in the current market, if you want to buy a house, it would be very tough, like without taking a loan. So, what is the suggestion on that?
Tell me why you want to buy a house.
See, so house is like one of the dream project, right? For any one of them.
Yeah, dream, no doubt. So you may be having even other dreams also, but why are you so passionate only about your house?
It's I think so. Like for everyone, it's kind of a. I mean to say, why means I have no answer for that.
See, when you are not having this answer for why, no, then that means somewhere your heart is saying that this is not something that you should step into it. Okay, this is how I follow by for my normal decision making. Now, when it comes to house, I have been having a constant conversation for the last 4 years with my wife. My wife have been consistently nagging me that all my sisters have their very good house, beautiful houses, and all those stuff. Even I want my own, but I'm someone who says clearly, I'm not going to block my money into an house. I'm earning now currently. I don't know where I would be, whether I'm in Hyderabad, whether I'm in Mumbai. I don't know where I would be settling in terms of my retirement. I've got two daughters, 14 years and 12 years. Now, if I go and buy a house today, I would be buying a house in terms of my current needs. That is, I've got my two daughters, I've got my mom along with me and my wife. Okay, so obviously I would go for a no lesser than a 3 bedroom flat. I would prefer having a 4 BHK if I can afford, but at least a 3 bedroom flat, isn't it?
Yeah.
Something in a very gated community where it is. Now my daughter is already into 10th. After 12th, I don't know whether she would prefer to stay with me or she would just leave us and stay wherever she want to continue her further studies. Am I right? My younger one is also already into 8th and another 4 5 years. Now after that, me, my wife, and my mother. So suddenly I would see that one room getting empty. I don't need it. Okay. Now by the time I retire, it will be only me and my wife, isn't it? I would be lucky if my mom is still there, but practically thinking, it would be only me and my wife. Now, would I prefer retiring at this place and live with my wife in the same house? I'm very sure the answer is no for me. I'm very clear. I'm not going to retire in this kind of urban environment. I would prefer going into some, and that is how traditional wisdom has been. If you go traditionally, our forefathers have always constructed their house at the time of the retirement, based on their retirement plans, how they want to spend their retirement, isn't it? It is only now, since we are so, because of an easy access to home loans, we have started getting tempted to go for this EMIs. Okay, and there is one very tempting thing. Because anyway you're paying rent of say 30,000. Why don't you buy a house and take an EMI of 60, 70,000, at least 30,000 rent ka nikal do. So only 40, 50,000 or 30,000, 40,000 you have to pay additionally. Now my question is, okay, I'm paying 30,000 rent and I'm paying additional 40,000 in terms of my EMI. What is the value of the asset, my home that is growing? Residential properties in India, any residential flat, if you see traditional historical returns, the return is between 6 to 8%. 8% is the average return, because at the end of the day, after 10 15 years, the construction value starts depreciating. So it is only the land value which you will get when you sell your house, isn't it? Now the same 30 40,000 which I'm paying additional as the EMI, if I invest into say mutual funds, which is giving me about 13 14% return, I'm sure after 15 years the value of your house would be less than 60% of the investment value. So am I clear, Vasu?
Somehow.
See, it is actually it is something that is emotionally inclined.
True.
Okay,
Like
it is something that is emotionally inclined.
we are upgrading to the like a different culture, so might be the some that might be the reason like you're conveying with me like this. But being old traditional values, like every person like should have a house, and they used to stay like being with the family along with the kids and all actually. So one of the purpose like people used to have a house means like there are a lot many things actually. But yes, obviously I agree. We are upgrading
House
lots of
gives
things.
you sense of security. I will tell you. House gives you a sense of security. A sense of security that no matter what happens, there is some shelter on my head.
Kind of.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Okay, so it is an emotional. Vasu, I would suggest you get in touch with me on my personal window. We will have. I love talking to people on this.
Yeah.
This is one hot topic which I really love talking to. Okay, and sure, I would be very soon coming out with a session on this, that whether you should buy a house or not, with the proper numbers.
Definitely.
Yeah. And it is always a decision between this and this, because this will always say go and buy the house. But when this is convinced, then you can try to convince here. So it's all about your emotional value versus your rational. So if you're a rational, if you want to do a rational decision making, then you need to look at even your house as an investment. Don't look at it as a some emotional security. Because at the end of the day, if you're buying a shelter with borrowed money, you're not giving a sense of security, you are actually taking a burden of EMIs. You're taking a burden of EMIs, and God forbidden, I have seen a lot of my clients losing their jobs during COVID, and they're getting desperate for their jobs or somehow earning some money so that they can pay their EMIs. Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm a Marwadi boss, so we basically count every rupee. What if I'm investing? What is the return on it? And if it is not giving me a proper return, I would say no to it.
Nice.
Okay, yeah. Let's move to another question. Yeah.
I think we actually it's already 4:07. Well, I think we can take last two questions, I would say. Rajesh? Yeah. I think I think Prachi's answer is pretty much covered, I believe.
Yeah, that's covered already.
Yes.
Actually.
Yes. I think we can take, we have a question from Sandy, which says Warren Buffett has 20% year on year, that question. And the last question would be how to learn investing in stocks
Warren Buffett
as
has
a skill.
20% year on year in average. Should I just follow his investment by seeing from public information like dataroma.com? Henki, I would say no. Never clone yourself. You can take inspiration from people. You can get inspired from people. Inspiration is something different, but copying, I would never suggest. If you want to really copy the methods of Warren Buffett. Go and read Intelligent Investor. Try to see how Warren Buffett and his team analyzes the company's financial statements, try to analyze a company's business, and then invest into it. I hope I'm clear, Enki. Yes. You can take that list of Warren Buffett investments as your stock short list. You can take it as a watch list. Try to analyze that company on yourself, understand their business, and then invest if you like that business, not just because you like Warren Buffett and he has invested into that business. So it's like same thing, like you go watch an advertisement because your favorite hero or heroine has come up, he or she has endorsed that product, so you go and buy that product just because your favorite hero is endorsed. Same way, you are going and saying that, okay, I like Warren Buffett, he is endorsing, invested into a company, I will go and just copy him. It would be something similar. Okay. Yeah. Yes, Sandhya, what is the next question? Yeah.
Okay, I think, the last question would be of Vinay Sharma, how to learn investing in stocks as a skill.
Okay. Vinay, how to learn investing into stocks as a skill? One I would recommend is SIOC, that is School of Intrinsic Compounding. You have a YouTube channel out there, SOIC. They have got their investing thing, but you can start with their YouTube channel. Another thing that I would suggest you is Safal Niveshak. Safal Niveshak is one site where I would recommend you to go, where Vishal Khandelwal is the person who teaches on investing, basically into stock market. So these are certain
the participants are requesting you to type in the chat box whatever
sure.
Information.
I would just SOIC. It is School of Intrinsic Compounding. SOIC. If you type in Google, you will get it. Then Safal Niveshak. It is Mr. Vishal Khandelwal. I have been inspired by these two people a lot. These are the Indian guys rather than just going and copying Warren Buffett, because Warren Buffett styles may not be completely suited to India. These are the two people who have taken up Warren Buffett learnings and have Indianized it. So if you are someone who like Indian Chinese, then this is something for you, like Indian stock market, Indian Warren Buffett learnings. Yeah.
Okay, I think uh, we have come to the end of session. Yes, the questions also have stopped. Okay, great. I think I'm super sorry, guys. We took extra 10 minutes of your time. And I think, well, it was a very, very informative session. And I think a lot of like happy realization happened because of the information we received from your end, Rajesh. I hope the session was informative to all the participants. And thank you so much, Rajesh. Thank you so much for your time. And thanks for making it very informative and also very interactive at the same time.
Thanks, Sandhya. I really loved interacting with you guys, and I hope your time was worth spending, because time is the
Yes,
costliest asset.
yes, definitely. I think above everything, whatever we mentioned
And I
now.
hope your investment of your time with me was worth spending.
Yes, definitely. Yes. Thank you so much, Rajesh. And thank you everyone for joining. Looking forward for the next session. Yep.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you, guys. Yeah.
Have a great evening, guys. Bye
Yeah.
bye.
today, I would be buying an house in terms of my current needs. That is, I've got my two daughters, I've got my mom along with me, and me and my wife. Okay, so obviously I would go for a no lesser than a 3 bedroom flat. I would prefer having a 4 BHK if I can afford, but at least a 3 bedroom flat, isn't it?
Yep.
Something in a very gated community where it is. Now my daughter is already into 10th. After 12th, I don't know whether she would prefer to stay with me or she would just leave us and stay wherever she want to continue her further studies. Am I right? My younger one is also already into 8th and another 4 5 years. Now after that, me, my wife, and my mother. So suddenly I would see that one room getting empty. I don't need it. Okay. Now by the time I retire, it will be only me and my wife, isn't it? I would be lucky if my mom is still there, but practically thinking, it would be only me and my wife. Now, would I prefer retiring at this place and live with my wife in the same house? I'm very sure the answer is no for me. I'm very clear. I'm not going to retire in this kind of urban environment. I would prefer going into some, and that is how traditional wisdom has been. If you go traditionally, our forefathers have always constructed their house at the time of the retirement, based on their retirement plans, how they want to spend their retirement, isn't it? It is only now, since we are so, because of an easy access to home loans, we have started getting tempted to go for this EMIs. Okay, and there is one very tempting thing. Because anyway you're paying rent of say 30,000. Why don't you buy a house and take an EMI of 60, 70,000, at least 30,000 rent ka nikal do. So only 40, 50,000 or 30,000, 40,000 you have to pay additionally. Now my question is, okay, I'm paying 30,000 rent and I'm paying additional 40,000 in terms of my EMI. What is the value of the asset, my home that is growing? Residential properties in India, any residential flat, if you see traditional historical returns, the return is between 6 to 8%. 8% is the average return, because at the end of the day, after 10-15 years, the construction value starts depreciating. So it is only the land value which you will get when you sell your house, isn't it? Now the same 30-40,000 which I'm paying additional as the EMI, if I invest into say mutual funds, which is giving me about 13-14% return, I'm sure after 15 years, the value of your house would be less than 60% of the investment value. So am I clear, Vasu?
Somehow.
See, it is actually it is something that is emotionally inclined.
True.
Okay, it is something that is emotionally inclined.
We are upgrading to the a different culture, so might be that might be the reason you're conveying with me like this. But being old traditional values, every person should have a house, and they used to stay being with the family along with the kids and all actually. So one of the purpose people used to have a house means there are a lot many things actually, but yes, obviously I agree. We are upgrading
House
lot of
gives
things.
you sense of security. I will tell you, house gives you a sense of security. A sense of security that no matter what happens, there is some shelter on my head.
Kind of.
Okay.
Yep. Thank you so much.
Okay, so it's an emotional. Vasu, I would suggest you get in touch with me on my personal window. We will have. I love talking to people on this.
Yeah.
This is one hot topic which I really love talking to. Okay, and sure, I would be very soon coming out with a session on this, that whether you should buy a house or not, with the proper numbers.
Definitely.
Yeah. And it is always a decision between this and this, because this will always say go and buy the house. But when this is convinced, then you can try to convince here. So it's all about your emotional value versus your rational. So if you're a rational, if you want to do a rational decision making, then you need to look at even your house as an investment. Don't look at it as some emotional security. Because at the end of the day, if you're buying a shelter with borrowed money, you're not giving a sense of security. You are actually taking a burden of EMIs. You're taking a burden of EMIs, and God forbidden, I have seen a lot of my clients losing their jobs during COVID, and they're getting desperate for their jobs or somehow earning some money so that they can pay their EMIs. Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm a Marwadi boss, so we basically count every rupee. What if I'm investing? What is the return on it? And if it is not giving me a proper return, I would say no to it.
Nice.
Okay, yeah. Let's move to another question. Yeah.
I think we actually it's already 4:07. Well, I think we can take last two questions, I would say. Rajesh? Yeah. I think one. I think Prachi's answer is pretty much covered, I believe.
Yeah, that's covered already.
Yes.
Actually.
Yes. I think we can take, we have a question from Sandy, which says Warren Buffett has 20% year on year, that question. And the last question would be how to learn investing in stocks
Warren
as
Buffett has
a
20%
skill.
year on year return in average. Should I just follow his investment by seeing from public information like dataroma.com? Hanky, I would say no. Never clone yourself. You can take inspiration from people. You can get inspired from people. Inspiration is something different, but copying, I would never suggest. If you want to really copy the methods of Warren Buffett. Go and read Intelligent Investor. Try to see how Warren Buffett and his team analyzes the company's financial statements, try to analyze a company's business, and then invest into it. I hope I'm clear, Anki. Yes. You can take that list of Warren Buffett investments as your stock short list. You can take it as a watch list. Try to analyze that company on yourself, understand their business, and then invest if you like that business, not just because you like Warren Buffett and he has invested into that business. So it's like same thing, like you go watch an advertisement because your favorite hero or heroine has come up, he or she has endorsed that product, so you go and buy that product just because your favorite hero is endorsed. Same way, you are going and saying that, okay, I like Warren Buffett, he is endorsing, invested into a company, I will go and just copy him. It would be something similar. Okay. Yeah. Yes, Sandhya, what is the next question? Yeah.
Okay, I think, the last question would be of Vinay Sharma, how to learn investing in stocks as a skill.
Okay. Vinay, how to learn investing into stocks as a skill? One I would recommend is SIOC, that is School of Intrinsic Compounding. You have a YouTube channel out there, SOIC. They have got their investing thing, but you can start with their YouTube channel. Another thing that I would suggest you is Safal Niveshak. Safal Niveshak is one site where I would recommend you to go, where Vishal Khandelwal is the person who teaches on investing, basically into stock market. So these are certain
the participants are requesting you to type in the chat box whatever the information.
Yeah, I would just SOIC. It is School of Intrinsic Compounding. SOIC. If you type in Google, you will get it. Then Safal Niveshak. It is Mr. Vishal Khandelwal. I have been inspired by these two people a lot. These are the Indian guys. Rather than just going and copying Warren Buffett, because Warren Buffett styles may not be completely suited to India, these are the two people who have taken up Warren Buffett learnings and have Indianized it. So if you are someone who like Indian Chinese, then this is something for you, like Indian stock market, Indian Warren Buffett learnings. Yeah.
Okay, I think we have come to the end of session. Yes, the questions also stopped. Okay, great. I think I'm super sorry, guys. We took extra 10 minutes of your time. And I think, well, it was a very, very informative session. And I think a lot of like happy realization happened because of the information we received from your end, Rajesh. I hope the session was informative to all the participants. And thank you so much, Rajesh. Thank you so much for your time. And thanks for making it very informative and also very interactive at the same time.
Thanks, Sandhya. I really loved interacting with you guys, and I hope your time was worth spending, because time is the
Yes.
costliest asset.
Yes, definitely. I think above everything, whatever we mentioned.
And I hope your investment of your time with me was worth spending.
Yes, definitely. Yes. Thank you so much, Rajesh. And thank you everyone for joining. Looking forward for the next session. Yep.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Yeah.
Have a great evening, guys.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
So we will end the session now.
Yes. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bye.